Excuse me. Morning, class.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning po, sir.
So let's just wait for the final few people who will be joining in. So leaders, please alert them that we are about to start. So requesting everyone for camera on, please. Thank you, Sam. So only Sam has her camera on at this time. So please, camera on for everyone before we start. Thank you, Cole. Good morning. Good morning, Ash.
Good morning, sir.
Parang puyat tayo, Ash, But you were early checking in.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. How's your week going along, everyone?
Okay naman po, sir.
Uh-huh. Do you have any details about that? Okay. Can you elaborate on that? Okay, Cole.
I mean, it's just a normal day po, sir. Just keep on, just doing my homeworks and stuff po.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so far there are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of you in class. Where are the others? I'm also particularly asking about this with the leaders. Do you have any updates about your classmates, leaders, and assistant leaders?
Daniela is switching networks. The rest are not responding, sir.
Okay. So for next week, during our prior to our class, please, 15 minutes or 30 minutes before, please try to alert your fellow group mates, okay? So that by 8 o'clock we can actually start. Let's wait further for about 2 minutes and then we can start already. Okay. Camera on, please, for everyone. So for everyone who came in on time or early, please put in the Viber that you are present today and you logged in at what time. Okay. Nick just joined us at 8:05. So Nick, just indicate in the Viber present, came in at 8:05. Okay. Thank you. So, just to reiterate that I appreciate everyone coming in on time. This is actually a gauge of you being eventually part of the workforce or the industry. So, it is a good practice now to be always, if you can, to be always on time. Again, I told you that this could be used as basis as a reflection of who you are. So normally when you join organizations, they sort of ask like, how is this person going to be? Is he a person who always comes in on time or things like that, no? So I hope that you can make extra effort to be on time always, especially for you guys who came in on time. Thank you so much. I'm still waiting for the others. Uh, it appears that there is just a few of you right now. Okay. So first and foremost, last week, may I know as to who can give a quick recap what you can remember from last class? Anyone can volunteer as a quick warm up. What can you remember from last time?
Sir, in our last class, we were discussing our wants and needs, and then we covered as well our carbon footprint.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Raven.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, so yes, we discussed about carbon footprint, your needs and wants. So given that you are more aware now of the carbon footprint, especially those who have the highest carbon footprint, are you now going to adjust your needs and wants in consideration of this contribution to carbon? So normally there are just a very simple things that we will be needing as human beings. No? Right now, what happened was everything evolved to what people somehow need right now. So what evolved very, very significantly was people right now view communication or phones as a very necessary tool. So it's a need right now. So, but decades before, this is just one of the things that probably you will just want because it's not a need. No? So it's quite interesting to note your list, and probably about 1 year from now or 5 years from now, when you revisit your list of needs and wants, you might smile and say, oh, this is what I needed when I was a student. But as a working professional, when you look back, you will say, probably this is not something that I need actually. This is actually more of a want for me. Okay. So for those who had the lowest carbon footprint, I applaud you, and please continue to explore ways in order to lessen your carbon footprint. And for the others who have very high carbon footprint, always look at the carbon footprint questionnaire. Okay, and I really would encourage you to do a self-check, an awareness check. Okay, like how can I lessen my carbon footprint at this time? Okay, even as we speak right now, there is something that can be done in order for our carbon footprint to become lower. Okay, so is there anything in your carbon footprint survey or questionnaire that you started being aware of and somehow you are trying to change? Please be very honest, huh? I need your awareness on this. Like, sir, before I don't usually remove my phone chargers. It's actually charged 24 hours a day. But right now, if it's fully charged, I remove it right away. Aside from safety, it sort of brings down my carbon footprint. It can be as simple as that. So any one of you who might have started something, where's the camera of the others? Nick, Ara, Ash?
Sir,
David?
I'm being made to do something. I can't really keep it on. Otherwise, you won't even see me on the screen, so it wouldn't really matter because I'm doing something.
Okay, but you are in class, right? You are
Yes,
being to do something.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. While in class, yes.
Okay, so are you going to join us with your cam on later?
Yes, sir. I'll turn on my camera when I'm done printing
Okay,
this. I'm just going back and forth between keyboard and printer.
okay, no problem. Thank you. So, as I was asking earlier, is there anything that you might have included in the list or in indicated in your carbon footprint survey that you have started changing? Remember that this is a list or a survey that aims to change behavior. And if it's a behavior, then it means that probably this has become a practice. And little by little, we hope to change the practice. Anyone? Yes, Raven.
For me, sir, I think it just made me be more aware of how, when it comes to transportation, how I get from place to place, and really realizing how much carbon is really emitted by said transportation. And so even if I walk around a lot and it's not the one, like my carbon footprint in that sense isn't too high, I am trying to be more aware of it.
Mhm. Okay, so what is your mode of transportation at this time? Your most frequent, and how do you aim to change that?
Usually, sir, if it's close distances, then I will walk. But if it's farther, then I do end up riding a car.
Mhm. Okay. Any others? You can just butt in and tell us your thoughts, huh? No need to raise your hands. Parang hindi pa kayo naka-warm up, no? Parang you need some warming up. Okay. And the reason why I'm asking these questions is actually a lot of what we will be doing as we go along is about change of practice, self-awareness, and awareness of your immediate environment and your general environment. Okay. So what I'm saying is a lot of people right now are just focused on me, 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 me. Are you aware of that? Me, 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 me. And what normally we would like to change as a behavior is that we shift from me to being aware of yourself in relation to the things and the people around you. So if there is something that you can change in your immediate environment, it starts with you changing, and then you change something around you. So if you change your behavior, then you can easily change the behavior of another person. You cannot just tell people, hey, please remove your charger. There's a lot of carbon footprint in that. Whereas you yourself, you are not doing it. So you cannot convince anyone unless you do it yourself. Okay, so like, hey, let's try to walk so that we can lessen our carbon footprint. The place where we're going is just nearby anyway. So rather than we take the car, let's just do some exercise. Assuming that it's late in the afternoon or evening, it will be a good exercise, no, or early in the morning. Okay, but don't go walking lunchtime where the sun is super hot. Okay, you might end up in the hospital. Okay, so I believe that the point is quite obvious in terms of changing behaviors in relation to carbon footprint. Okay, okay, Danny, the question earlier was more of based on the checklist or the questionnaire, the carbon footprint questionnaire. What have you changed in terms of your behavior lately? Because now you are more self-aware. Simple things to the more complex things. Like, do you walk more right now so that you don't accumulate carbon footprint using the car? So, especially now that you are aware of the points, right? Either it's a 0 or 1,000 points in the carbon footprint checklist. Okay. So, how about you, Danny? Is there anything that made you more self-aware? Or Ara?
Well, I remember, uh, I remember from the test we took, sir. My score was fairly low, which surprised me.
Mhm.
So far, lately, I haven't really changed anything, but after the test, I felt more aware of what I was doing. And so that's it for me.
Yes, Danny had a low score, meaning close to zero. The closer to zero, the better. Okay? So always refer to your carbon footprint questionnaire. How about you, Ara? Are most of you using uh phone data, or are you using home Wi-Fi?
Data, sir.
Data, that's for Raven. Okay. So data means phone data. Okay. Who among you are using home Wi-Fi at this time? Can I have a raise of hand using Zoom? Okay, Sam, Ara, Misha, Noel, Ash, Danny, Cole. Okay. You are all using Wi-Fi. So I would really appreciate Cam on for especially for those who are using Wi-Fi. Okay, I need interactivity in this class, and this is actually something that we need to do, especially if we are not face to face. All right. So next week it's going to be face to face. I won't be asking for this anymore, at least for that period. So okay. So Ara, as I was asking earlier, is there anything in your list that probably you are trying to change little by little? What's your score in your questionnaire last time, Ara? What was your total score?
1,235 po, sir.
Okay, it's just a little over 1,000, which is actually good as compared to the winners. Okay, the winners that I can remember the last time is aside from Cole, who else? Who else are the winners? The carbon footprint winners, the highest points. Sino nga yung isa pa? Or tatlo sila? Ah, hindi niyo na na-remember. Ang nare-remember niyo yung score ninyo, ano? Tama ba? Aha. Okay. So, okay, since most of you are here already, I need 9 minutes of your time to watch this video. Please make sure that you take down notes as we go along on this video, okay? And try to ask questions as much as possible if there is something that you wish to be clarified about, okay? Let me just, this is in relation to our topic on theory of change, okay? Theory of change. So is there anyone absent right now? Leaders? or someone who might have advice, but
Yes, sir.
mhm.
Marcus is absent, sir.
Okay, and
Marcus and Karen, sir.
Marcus and Karen. Okay, please indicate that in our Viber, okay? Marcus and Karen, please indicate that if you are a leader. Okay. The reason why I'm asking the leaders to do the attendance check is being a leader, part of your would-be responsibility as one of the future working professional is actually making sure that your group mates are around, especially if there are things to work on. Okay. As we go along, I'm telling you that you are being prepared to become working professionals already. Okay. Is it correct to assume that all of you are about to graduate? All of you.
Yes, sir. Um, yes, sir.
So is there anyone here who needs an extension aside from this term? Is there no one? All of you are expected to move up or graduate already. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, and I'm sure you are excited yourself. Okay? Is anyone pressured at this point? Ara is smiling. Why Ara? What do you have in mind? Okay. So all of you, I would encourage you to enjoy these last few weeks of class. Okay. If you look back, you will always try to look back during your school days. Because once you start working, it's going to be different. But I'm sure the others are excited because they're going to earn money already. Okay. So please, I'll be I'll be sharing with you the video on the theory of change. The video's title is The Story of Solutions. So the story of solutions means that, okay, I won't preempt muna. It would be best to, okay, I'll share my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. Okay, this is just 9 minutes. Please take down notes as you go along watching this video. Okay, thank you. Wait, I'll just maximize.
You have one of these? Of course not. This thing is 5 years old. Now everyone's got one of these. Can you imagine how much genius and focus it took to turn a music player into a handheld computer phone, GPS, remote control for everything in life in just 5 years? Seriously, the thousands of people who made this thing had to solve thousands of problems that literally could not have been solved 5 years ago. That's what people can do when they're motivated to find solutions to problems. But the problems we've been busy solving are not the problems that most need solving. So much focus has gone into faster, cheaper, newer that we've actually lost ground on things like safer, healthier, and more fair. It's as if we're getting better and better at playing the wrong game. And in many ways, this system is a lot like a game, but with very high stakes. Just like a game, our economy was designed by people to get everyone to play by certain rules. And like a game, it comes with instructions telling us what the goal is. Think about the last time you played a new game. Remember? The first thing you did was find out what it means to win, and that guides every decision you make along the way. So naturally, the solutions most people are working on pursue this game's simple goal, and that goal is more. More money being spent, more roads being built, more malls being opened, more stuff. That's what economists call growth. So we take all the money spent on stuff that makes life better and all the money spent on stuff that makes life worse, and we add it together into one big number called GDP. We're told that a bigger GDP means we're winning. So it's a number that thousands of rules and laws are designed to increase. But there's a big difference between more kids in school or more kids in jail, more windmills or more coal-fired power plants, more super efficient public trains or more gas wasted in traffic jams. Duh. But in this game of more, they're counted the same. Now, we can't change a game this dumb, one rule or one player at a time. The problem is the goal itself. We need solutions that change that. What if we built this game around the goal of better? Better education, better health, better stuff, a better chance to survive on this planet. That's what we all want, right? So shouldn't that be what winning means? Changing the goal of the entire economy is a huge task. Of course, we can't do it all at once. But when we focus on game-changing solutions, we gradually make it possible for a new game to be played. To do that, we have to be able to tell the difference between a game-changing solution or just a new way to play that old game of more. For example, let's look at two solutions to one of the many problems we face today: the scourge of plastic packaging that everyone knows is a disaster for the planet, especially the oceans. And here are two groups of people with very different ideas of solutions to the plastics problem. These guys decide that enough is enough, and they start by launching a citizen campaign to ban the plastic bag in their community. These guys have a different solution. They start a business that gives people gift cards to buy stuff if they recycle their plastic waste. Both of these are happening right now, but only one of them changes the game. The gift card solution does keep some plastic out of landfills and incinerators, but it creates more plastic by encouraging people to buy more stuff. Even worse, it teaches that more consumption is the right reward for being a good citizen, making it even harder to think outside that old game box. The ban the bag solution is harder to achieve, but it's a game changer. Why? Well, by volunteering their time, these citizens are declaring that there's something more important to them than just earning and spending more. To win this campaign, these citizens are going to have to team up with forward-thinking businesses offering alternatives to throwaway plastic packaging. They're going to have to build power to fight back against the American Chemistry Council, which lobbies for the companies that make all that plastic junk. And they're going to have to get out and talk to their neighbors and friends, inspiring yet more people to begin to question the old game. This is exactly what's happening in towns and cities all across the world, and they're winning. But can banning a few million plastic bags transform the goal of the game? By itself, no. But in combination with millions of others working on game-changing solutions that they care about, yes. Together, these solutions are beginning to turn the tide. As people build power to change the game, their citizen muscles grow. They work to ensure the local solutions they create get copied and scaled up. And when they see these solutions getting blocked by corporations with way too much influence, they team up with other solutionaries to fight for a real democracy by the people, for the people. Gift cards will never do that, but thousands of citizen campaigns can. Whenever I'm asked to join in on a solution, I want to know if it's transformational. Will it change the goal? To figure it out, I use the word goal. I want to know that it, G, gives people more power, taking power back from corporations to build democracy. Opens people's eyes to the truth that once basic needs are met, happiness and well-being don't come from buying more stuff, but from our communities, our health, and a sense of purpose. A accounts for all the costs it creates, including the toll it takes on people and the planet. In other words, it internalizes costs instead of externalizing them, as most businesses do today. L lessens the enormous wealth gap between those who can't even meet their basic needs and those who consume way more than their fair share. When I see a solution that does all that or can be redesigned to, I'm in. And they're popping up everywhere. Like the Evergreen cooperatives in Cleveland, where worker owners are running green businesses, a laundry, a solar company, and a super productive urban farm that are healthy and safe. They provide secure jobs to people that the old game has left behind. We all know we need to get businesses out of our democracy, but cooperatives go even further and bring democracy into the businesses. Sustainable, democratic, and equitable, that's a game changer. Or in Caponori, a town in Italy where local citizens working with businesses and governments are not just seeking to manage waste better, but they're questioning the very inevitability of waste. They're promoting solutions to waste, not with expensive techno fixes, but by working together as a community to reclaim compost for the soil, to find reusable substitutes for disposable products, and then to put discarded material to good use. They've already reduced some waste streams by 82% while creating jobs and building social fabric. And how about the new trend of collaborative consumption, formerly known as sharing? Sharing may sound like the theme of a Barney song, but think about it. It's a huge challenge to the old game. It gets us off the treadmill of more, conserves resources, gives people access to stuff they otherwise couldn't afford, and builds community. What's it look like? Bike share programs in major cities, online platforms that let us share everything from our cars to our homes to camping gear. In my town, the public library system lends out tools. There's just no reason that every house needs its own power drill, creme brulee torch, scanner, wheelbarrow, bike pump when we can share. As transformational solutions like these gain traction, we will reach a tipping point if we keep focused on the new goal of better. Without a new goal, all the work we're doing to build a better future will be A, not enough, and B, really hard. Too much genius and focus will continue to go to solving problems like iPhone battery life, while the problems that threaten human life spin out of control. 5 years ago, when we made the story of stuff, we started building a community of people who sensed that something was really wrong with this old game. We agreed there was a problem. Now it's time to build the solutions. Solutions that won't just change a few of the rules, but will change the entire game. Want to help? Come on, let's do it.
Okay. So were you able to take down some notes? Okay.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
Thank you. And I will be calling you one by one, or better yet, some volunteer. As I've said, I'm looking out for participation, okay, and effort. So any insights, you can start with any word that might have struck you in terms of the video. Insights.
Sir, for me, I think it had to do with what she was saying about a game changer solution and the specific example she gave. Because the example she gave was that people that are still playing the old game, they'll encourage people to recycle whilst rewarding them. And usually when it comes to when you're thinking of things from a business perspective, that sounds really good. But when you think of it from a bigger perspective in terms of society, the way that corporations work, as well as the environment, it actually sounds really bad. And people don't realize that until they're provided with a solution that is actually genuinely beneficial for all of those areas, the environment, society, as well as going against what the corporation says for when it comes to, well, capitalism in essence. And so it was really eye-opening as well, sir, because for me, I thought that the originally I thought that encouraging people to recycle by rewarding them was smart. But then when she explained why that wasn't a good idea and it was just encouraging people to do more instead of to do better, it changed my perspective on things. And so it was really good, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. I really appreciate that insight, especially on about taking note of game changing. Okay, you also noted on capitalism, and for you, this is an eye opener. I'm happy to hear that, especially now that there are a lot of, how would you say, they are still in the old ways of thinking things. It's always better. It should be better, but they are doing more, as the video has mentioned. Okay. Before I talk more on that, okay, thank you for that, Raven. Next volunteer. Okay, Danny, take the floor.
Hello, sir. Yes po. So,
Yes, if you can speak a
after,
little louder, Danny.
okay po. How about now po, sir? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, it's clearer now. Thank you, Danny.
Okay po. So after watching the YouTube video about the story of stuff, I realized how much our current system of production and the consumption is harming both the environment and us, the people, because the video explained how the materials economy follows a line of extraction, production, distribution, consumption, and disposal. And what each of those steps causes damage in some way, either through pollution or wasting the resources and also exploiting the workers. But the most eye-opening, or what struck me the most, was learning about the externalized costs, because it's surprising to think that the real price of the products we buy don't really include the environmental destruction or the unfair treatment of the workers that were involved in making the product. And
Yeah.
for example po, we might buy a cheap phone without realizing that someone was underpaid or mistreated in that um, environment, or that toxic waste was released during the making of that cheap phone. So the video made me realize or reflect on how I consume things, and reminded me to be more responsible with my choices when being a consumer, because sometimes it's not just about recycling, it's also about changing the whole system and being more mindful of how my actions are affect the planet and the people around me. So that's it po.
Thank you so much, Danny. It's quite an encompassing insight, but that is really quite amazing. I would like to take note of the systems thinking. Okay, systems thinking. You actually don't just focus on a particular aspect, but you try to look at the entire system. That's why if you have taken note of the meaning of goal, GOAL, the letter A stands for accounts for all costs. And this is what Danny mentioned, no? The real cost. It's not about buying a cheap phone. It's about taking into account someone might have not been paid appropriately in order to come up with a cheap phone. And that is not good. Okay? And you are aware of branding, right? If you have something that you bought and it says there made in blank, what country would you prefer to buy right now, given your awareness of this video and the messaging? Made in what particular brands, made in, would you buy and not buy? Any thoughts before I call on the next one? Would you buy made in blank? Because it's very cheap, sir. It's very cheap. But the thing is, someone was not paid appropriately because of that cheap stuff. Stuff. Okay, Danny.
For me, sir, I think it's a yes po. Kasi if the product that I bought was what do you, if the product that I bought, knowing that that was the situation whilst making it, I think I would be picky about where it was made from, especially when I know how it was made. Because if that product contained anything harmful in terms of like the chemicals or toxins, I would probably keep it away from myself. And also, since it harmed the workers making it, I think yun po, I would be more cautious with finding out where the products I buy are from.
So I need you to be aware that there are companies right now who would look for the cheapest place or the cheapest country in order to manufacture specific items or stuff for their production. So if you are a business owner, it might be a practical solution, yes. You might look for a country wherein you can pay the lowest wage. Are you aware that in some countries, their wage is lugaw, porridge. They would rather pay lugaw or porridge, and then you are paid for the day. Because in some countries, they do not eat that much. So their need is food, not money. And can you imagine yourself being a business owner and exploiting that situation? Would you be happy knowing that your workers are living on just porridge in order for them to come up with a very good or cheap phone? So that's actually happening. And I will not mention the country. It's a very big country, and it's being touted as the production mecca of companies. So would you go to that country because you are going to invest a low amount of money for the kind of products that you will be producing? Okay. So can I get a third one? Okay, Sam, thank you. Take away.
I'll just be speaking on what I wrote down.
Mhm.
From the video, I've noticed the focus has often been on solving faster, cheaper, newer problems, leading to a loss of ground in issues like safety, health, and fairness. And the video suggests we are getting better at playing the wrong game, which is mentioned as the system. The simple goal of this old game is more, the keyword more. More money spent, more roads built, more malls open, more stuff, which economics call growth. A key metric that they mentioned in the video was a term called GDP. I'm not sure if you guys mentioned it, but
Yes,
it is called gross domestic product. That we are told that a bigger GDP means we're winning, and laws are designed to increase it. From what I know, the video's goal is to build a new game around the goal of the word better. Better education, better health, better stuff, and a better chance to survive on this planet. This is really presented as what us people truly want. And another one was recycling, where recycling was for easy access, where people would get gift cards just from recycling. But the issue with that is that it encourages people to buy more stuff, reinforcing the old game's goal. It teaches that consumption is a reward for good citizenship. A method I've noticed on the video they mentioned was the acronym of GOAL that you mentioned, sir. For example, G gives people more power, shifting power from corporations about democracy. O opens people's eyes to the truth, to tell like what comes from the community, the health and purpose, not just buying more stuff. For A, it stands for accounts for all the costs. It creates internalizing costs instead of externalizing them. And L stands for lessens the enormous wealth gap. For example, like we are emerging, including workers' cooperatives that brings democracy into businesses. Communities reducing waste by questioning its inevitability and promoting reuse and composting rather than just better management. And collaborative consumption, like sharing, which challenges the more treadmill, conserves resources, provides access, and builds communities. Well, in my opinion, without changing the goal, efforts for a better future will be insufficient and difficult. Ingenuity will continue to be wasted on trivial problems while major threats escalate. That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Sam. And that ends our discussion. Goodbye. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so it was quite an encompassing insight by Sam. No, she quite hit a lot of things, especially on what I wanted to drive at. First is the old way of thinking, which is thinking about just GDP, gross domestic product. No? And of course, we have what we call now a mind shift, a change in mindset, which is to do something better, better, and better. It's a continuous improvement system. When we think of this goal, continuous improvement. And it lessens the wealth gap. Are you aware now that there's always this publication, who are the top billionaires of the world?
Yes, sir.
You
Sir,
see
did
that?
you know it's actually more expensive to be poor because like you're buying things that you can afford that are lower quality, and because they're lower quality, they break easily, and so you have to keep buying things.
Yes. But apparently, the reality is that the poor people do not have access to the basic things that for most of us are basic, because they don't have the resources to purchase this stuff. So what is their reality? Their reality is not your reality. And I would like to immerse you one of these days. I would like for you to be present in one of the social enterprise startups. Okay, I am helping out one of the social enterprise startups right now, and I would like for you to get involved in terms of the planning. Okay, planning and taking into account the kind of solutions that will come out from the exercise. Okay, and I like how our discussions right now are turning out, because this actually opens your mind to the realities of the situation around us. Okay, and I am happy that this course, social entrepreneurship, opens up your awareness. Okay, and that is what's important, being aware. And you will be the future leaders, future business leaders. And we would like for you to think this way, and not only thinking yourself as becoming wealthy in the future, but taking with you more people to become wealthier like you, and eventually empowering them so that they are able to shift their current lives to a much better one. Okay, so there is a very, very wide gap right now between the very, very ultra rich and the super poor, who actually have very much difficulty getting the basic needs. Okay, so if your need is about an extra pillow, if your need is about an extra battery for a keyboard, okay, if your need is something like that, then there is someone else who needs lugaw or food, because they have none of that if they don't work. And they are being exploited to come up with cheap phones in that particular country. And that's quite unacceptable. Okay, it's inhumane. Okay, how about number 4? Volunteer number 4, Raven, Danny, and Sam. Thank you so much for your inputs and your insights. How about the others?
I can go, sir.
Okay, thank you, Ash.
I would also before I start, I would also like to make the comment that the person in the video didn't do much research when it comes to saying that the situation they presented was a bit subjective, because if you don't know, in Germany, if you collect a certain trash bag full of uh plastics or plastic bottles, they actually pay you like a few cents of euros. I mean, and yeah, and the search, and it may just seem like the exact same thing for with the video, but it's until you realize that they pick up more trash than what they earn. So it's still a much better solution than what. So it's a bit of a subjective thing, but when it came to the video itself, I kind of realized that it is very much possible. I think a lot of companies already know that this is possible, of making better things instead of doing more things that are not benefiting other people. But for me at least, it makes sense that they would know, but they would not doing it, which is a bit of a which kind of struck me, because what struck me isn't what's in the video. What struck me is what I thought of it at while watching it, because putting some more thought into it, I'm no smarter than any of the people in these companies, so why would I assume that I know something they don't? So I'm 99% sure they know that they can do better. They know how to change the economy, but they've just been going on with the same thing for so long that it's not really gonna happen. And until a big company like Adidas, Nike, H&M or something actually try to change their ways, the other companies won't follow through. So I think a big movement involving not just the people themselves, but also a company with already a high name to themselves, it would be very useful because now not only are there people, but there's a big company who agrees with the whole changing the system of the economy thing. So it's a very it's not too it's not too convoluted to think about, but if you think about the cause and effect, if a company like, let's say, Nike starts changing how they make their products, who's to say that the other companies won't? Nike is already a very big company, so why not do the same thing as they're doing? And it's gonna work since they're doing it. So it's something that's very possible. Just not many companies or people are willing to do it, which is kind of sad for me.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Ash. I like your thought when it comes to being critical of a video that has been shown to you. Okay, it's sort of uh, uh, what tips off the balance. It's not about saying, "Oh, I agree in everything that the video said," but it's something that probably we might have missed given this point that you are telling us. So you specifically mentioned about picking up trash and just being given a small amount for that.
Not
Yeah,
really
that can
small
be
amounts.
bad.
It depends on how much you pick up. Because like with the
Right.
video that I watched, it shows that you deposit it in some kind of this in some kind of uh in a container. Not in a container, like there's a hole in a building where you can sell it to, where if you give them like a receipt or something of or proof that you did in fact throw that trash into their disposal bin, well, they're gonna give you the set amount of money depending on it.
Yes.
And
Right.
with how little that you can actually get it, you actually pick up more than what you earn, which is not only motivating, but it gets you free money. Who doesn't like that?
Yes. And that is actually the reason why our economists and the work that they do is important. You actually have to view the big picture. You always have to look at the big picture, not the details. Okay? Of course, the details will contribute to the big picture. Okay? But this is what we will be doing later. I will be showing you the theory of change diagram. Okay? So that what actually begins as a process for the theory of change is you start with the impact. What impact do you want to achieve? If the impact is about cleaning the waters of this planet, then what is the best way to do it? And probably with just enough money to do it, this is what you can generate. So that might probably explain why they are just paid that much, because that's the only budget that they have, but that the intention is very good. It's about cleaning the planet, specifically the waters. So let's see how everything is accounted for. That's the letter A of GOAL. Everything is accounted for. Goal. Okay. Thank you for that. And before I let go of Ash, everyone, are you aware of the brand Patagonia? So that is a major brand that actually is a social enterprise with lots of activism embedded in their system. Activism means they are very active advocating for the planet. So if you see the Patagonia brand, then it means you are helping them in terms of their advocacy for the planet. So try to do a research on Patagonia. That's a global brand. And during one of in one of the assignments I gave you, I told you to give a social enterprise, which is local in the country where you are right now, regional in terms of the region wherein your country is part of, or any region in the world, can be Europe, America, okay, Asia, okay, and global social enterprise. I mentioned to you to tell us one of the social enterprises that you can do a research on. And I have not seen Patagonia, or probably I may have missed, but I read all of your assignments and I'm very happy about that assignment because you did your research, okay? If you were not able to put the link of your research, please do so. You can still improve that assignment and pass it again to me, okay? I am happy about the citation of your references in that assignment. Thank you. You are doing very good in terms of research. And what I'm driving at right now is research is a very powerful tool in order to improve systems. So if you are going to put up any kind of business in the near future or in the far future, please take into account these kinds of system for continuous improvement. Okay? As Ash was trying to point out earlier, you cannot be an expert in everything right away. Okay? But you can get better and better and better and better, as the video has emphasized. Do something better. Okay? I have a few more names in my list. Who's next after Ash?
I can go po, sir.
Okay. Take it
So,
away.
so my takeaway for the video is I would like to add my insights on what Raven said earlier about the yung game changer concept, the game changer solutions, because we all know naman industrial harm and how it's toxic to us, how it's toxic to the environment, and we were taught to recycle and be aware. But I think that's it lang. Parang we were only taught to recycle and be aware. But this video shows us na simple recycling isn't enough and being aware isn't enough because we actually have to put in the work because of the constant fight against problems like global warming, fossil fuel abuse, and ano pa ba? Human recklessness against waste, ganun. And as far as the video tells us, the old solutions, which is the being aware nga and being and simple recycling is not as effective because of the constant evolution of problems occurring daily that harms the industry. And we were introduced to new solutions na are actually effective. So these new solutions are actually putting in the work and not just simply raising awareness. So, ayun, long story short, since there's as constant improvement is always needed because new problems always rises.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Nick. I like the words that you mentioned, no? Human recklessness, okay? Fossil fuel abuse, okay? So I believe that you all are learning a lot, being able to capture very specific but significantly important concepts. So you have a lot of takeaways in this class, no? The social entrepreneurship class. This actually opens up the mind, opens up the eyes, opens up your senses, and take into consideration all these during your planning of a social enterprise, which I will be requiring you for the entire 12 weeks that we are doing social entrepreneurship. I'll explain to you the mechanics as we go along. But thank you for that, Nick. Last three or last two.
I can go.
Okay, Michelle, take it away.
Okay, so a part that really caught my attention, out of the entirety of the video, was also the game-changing solution as well. But specifically about the impacts of one solutions in a business owner's perspective. So when we make a business for a solution, one truly has to think about the solution they are creating and the consequences that comes with it. Because even if the solutions being made are for the benefit of our planet, there are still possibilities that instead of solving that problem, we could be contributing more. So we should be more aware of our actions and the consequences, and we should ensure that when we make a solution, it has to be an effective game-changing solution and not an old game solution. So that in this way, the solutions we make will follow through with the goal we intended to reach.
Okay. Thank you very much for that, Misha. And one way to do that actually is always to use the framework goal. No? Always take note of the goal framework, GOAL, so that you can evaluate the kind of old games that are happening to the much better ones. Okay. Again, what is letter G?
G gives people more power.
Okay. Letter O is?
Opens people's eyes to truth and happiness.
Okay. So take into account what makes people happy. Okay. If you put it in the perspective of your workers, if you will be having your own business, think of their happiness, not much of your happiness, because you will be happy as a business owner if your human capital or your people are happy. You cannot be happy as a business owner if your employees are not happy. Take that into account, okay? Because eventually all your people will leave because you are not contributing to their happiness. So that is the constant challenge for business owners. Letter A is account for all costs, and letter L is lessens the wealth gap. So if you really look up to Elon Musk as a wealth magnet, please, you probably can turn an eye to someone who has more compassion for those who have less. Okay, it's not about accumulation. Okay, so he might have accumulated a lot of wealth, but if we ask the question, are you contributing? Okay, probably not. Okay, okay, so last two. Okay, take it away, Cole.
Hi, Buster. So, what caught my attention in the video was the part where was the part where it talks about how to identify the real solution, which is the goal, the acronym. No, no. Because I just realized that with that term, that acronym, it just helps me. It can also be a guide actually in thinking of solutions. Like like ask yourself, does it, for example, in G, it says it gives for power. It just makes you question if that the it just makes you uh ask questions like does the solution give uh would the solution give people more power or not? So that's all about.
Okay. So I would like to put emphasis or clarify that when you say gives power to more people, okay, this is about focusing your lens on a lot of people right now. We have 1 billion people on the planet. A lot of people in the planet are powerless. They are not able to make decisions simply because they only think of something very critical for them right now, which is what is critical? They need to eat. If they cannot eat, then they cannot think. If they cannot think, then they cannot move. They cannot move, then they might as well be dead. A lot of those are in Africa, in parts of Asia, okay? And if you will do your research, there are a lot of people dying when it comes to these basic needs lacking in their immediate environment or even within their immediate circle. So just give them more power to decide for themselves. That's it. To decide for themselves because they are probably able to have access to work, access to jobs. If they have access to jobs, then they are able to decide which job they would like to engage in. If they don't have that, then it means they are lacking in the basic needs. This is not want, this is basic need. They need to have job. And if they don't have the job, they don't have food. Okay, that's about giving power to people. It's not about, oh, I am a worker of this company. I should have more power than the CEO. No, it's not that. It's about empowering them, about going up the ladder, being able to achieve the happiness that we have identified in the goal, opening up the eyes to the truth of happiness. Let them achieve. I have I will just give you a very quick insight about what I had experienced before. In our organic farm, which is one of the social enterprises I have put up before, which I am happy about doing even at an early age. Okay, one of my workers, I in my interview, and while I'm engaging them already at work, I asked them, "What drives you to go to work every day? What are your motivations?" Okay, the simple. Can you imagine the simple motivation of this farm worker was to put a door in their restroom because they don't have a door in that small space that they have. That is the kind of reality that probably most of you, those kinds of motivation exist as a worker. Okay, And then the other one, when I interviewed, sir, the only motivation or my main motivation right now is to be able to put up a wall in our house because we just have wood that covers for most of the wall, but one part of the wall is just nothing. I would like to put something there so that it becomes a wall to our house. Can you imagine? No. And how I wish I can right away just say, okay, let's go to your house and put up a wall already. Okay? Would you do that? Okay? If some of you will say, okay, let's do that right away, then it might be that when you do that, okay, nagawa na yung wall. Let's go to another job. Okay, it's like yung parang a cause and effect thing. If I do it now, will he be happy? Or you have to know the psychology of your workers. Okay, so if you say that putting up a business is easy, it's actually very fulfilling. But there will be a lot of challenges. And if you thrive on working on challenges and you are excited about challenges, especially as youth, then this is one way to do it. Okay, put up your social enterprise and let it roll, and you will have a very fulfilling future ahead of you. Okay, who knows? No, you might be the next Patagonia in the Philippines. Okay, you might be the next. Try to internalize the social enterprise or businesses that you have submitted as an assignment. Okay. Okay. So thank you for that, Cole. When it comes to that insight that you said, and you will be taking note of GOAL. Is there anyone else who we might have missed today? Karen had a power outage in their area. Okay. And thank you for that update, Sam. So at this point, I believe everyone has already taken part in the discussion. And is there anyone I might have forgotten? Okay, I'll give you a very short discussion on the theory of change, but we will be doing this, a part 2 of this, as we go along. Okay, I just have to give this to you. Okay, can you see my screen? The theory of change?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please capture this. Screen capture this and then put it in your notes or your laptops. Okay. So in the remainder of our time, I will be quickly doing some introduction of these 6 diagrams. Okay. The first is expected impact. The 2 is expected outcomes. 3 strategies for cause and effect. 5 causal assumptions. And 6 is the theory of change diagram. So if you look at number 1, okay, expected impact, and you zoom towards number 6, okay, you start with the impact, which is the hollow square or the rectangle as shown in number 1. And when you go towards number 6, the hollow rectangle has on its left side the green rectangles, and on the leftmost side are the black rectangles. Do you notice that? Okay, so you start with the impact, as I mentioned to you earlier. What impact will your business do? If you sort of think of a business concept at this time, which I will be doing with you as we go along, and all of us will be evaluating your business idea. Okay, so I will be giving you a link as your assignment. There will be a link that I would like for you to watch. This is about thinking of a business. This is a show on TV, which is shown in British television, and the other one is on American television. So in front are the possible investors. Has any one of you watched these kinds of shows? Okay, there are investors in front of you, and you are trying to pitch in a business idea or the idea that you had for your business, which is already ongoing, and they will be investing. You are trying to encourage them or motivate them to invest in your company. So what in front of you are the dragons, okay? They are the ones who have the money. Try to imagine Elon Musk being in front of you and he is ready to put in a part of his money to your company. What will you tell him or her, the other investors, in terms of the impact of your business? So you have to explain number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, until you are able to reach number 6. Because when you start with your impact, okay, your strategies should be able to capture the outcomes, okay, and the effect should be the black boxes. The effect. Do you see the black boxes? There are 3 black boxes in the diagrams, and these are the effects of your business. And you have to make sure that the effect in the business as a result of the outcomes and strategies that you did, you have to make sure that it all contributes, these effects all contribute to the impact that you have previously imagined. So if today you imagine, I want to have an impact in terms of the cleanliness in the oceans. This is what my business will do. Then try to do this exercise, the theory of change. Okay, I will discuss more of this as we go along, but please try to do some research, theory of change. Okay, first assignment, important for the online group. I would like for you to come up with 3 to 5 references online with regard to the theory of change, and try to come up with business ideas now. Things that you want to initiate as a social enterprise. Okay? And that goes as well for the face-to-face group. The theory of change, use this. Okay? Make sure that you are able to go to the library, okay, of Thames. Okay, try to research on the theory of change. I need to know the title of the books that you have referenced on. Okay, and I will indicate the deadline for this assignment. Okay, so I see a raise of hand. Yes, Nick.
Sir, I have a question po. Yung social enterprise or yung business po ba na gagawin is kailangan related sa theory of change?
No, the social enterprise is really more of a business idea that I'm asking you to come up with. Okay, if you have 3 business ideas, that's good. If you want to focus on just one, that's fair enough. Okay, these are just ideas. Don't give details yet. Okay, but if you have a 1 paragraph to explain the idea, that will be great. Okay, and if this has something to do with the theory of change, this is the exercise that we will be doing in order to come up with more details of that business idea. Okay, Sam, you have a question.
So there will be different assignments for face-to-face people and online people, sir?
Yes, that's correct. My
Okay,
expectation for the online people is to do online research about the theory of change. Okay, and please try to capture why did you pick that theory of change reference, and try to summarize what it is telling you. Okay, and for the face-to-face group, I need you to go to the THEMS library and come up with the book titles that you have used as a reference. Okay, if you have 3, that will be enough. If you will have more than 3, then that's the extra effort, which I am always constantly evaluating. Okay, effort. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I believe we are 4 minutes beyond our time. I appreciate your attendance, people. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate to Viber me privately or in our Viber group. Okay. So I always expect you to check your THEMS email. All right. And that's where I put the details of the assignment. The THEMS email is critical to your assignment and the NEO LMS. All right. So thank you, class. Thank you, class, for being here. And just one last shot before we end. Thank you for attending. I appreciate you all, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Bye po, sir.
Jordan.